with the most votes is building a project, task, and meeting operating system with Notion. So for everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Shireen. I'm part of the StartSpace team here at State Library Victoria. And with me is my colleague Amir, our community lead.
Hello, everyone.
And before we begin, I would like to acknowledge, do a little acknowledgement of country. So on behalf of the State Library Victoria, I would like to acknowledge the traditional lands of all the Victorian Aboriginal clans and their cultural practices and knowledge systems. We recognize that our collections hold traditional cultural knowledge belonging to Indigenous communities in Victoria and around the country. We support communities to protect the integrity of this information gathered from their ancestors in the colonial period. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, who have handed down these systems of practice to each new generation for millennia.
I'm very lucky that my business partner has a medical practice and they have room because I do everything out of my very small apartment.
Reminder
and there is not room.
To not share your audio because we can hear someone just talking in the background.
Oh, so good. Yeah, it's great.
So just again, please make sure your
yes.
camera is on, but your audio is turned off. So please, as a reminder for everyone.
Yeah.
So now it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Alex Dam from Notion. So Alex is currently leading Notion for startups across Asia Pacific region. Before joining Notion, he worked as a venture capital principal in New Zealand. So he brings a unique perspective on how founders can use tools like Notion to stay organized and scale effectively. So welcome, Alex, and over to you.
Sweet. Hey, everyone. Hopefully you guys can hear me. And just another reminder to all of you, put your mics on mute. In case, if you have a question, you can go unmute, like raise your hand. There's a little raise your hand symbol on the Microsoft Teams thing. It's a pleasure to be here and speak to all of you and the StartSpace community. Thank you, Sharon, for the invitation. Sharon and Amir for organizing. Let me share my screen. Like always, I have a little cheeky presentation to just share with you on what Notion actually is, for those who are unaware. But actually, before I pull this up, and as I'm pulling this up, could I get people to talk in the chat or just type in the chat being like, do you know about Notion? Are you still unfamiliar with what Notion is? Do you use Notion? And if so, kind of what's your level of expertise with Notion? Just for me to get a clear understanding of where everyone's level is at, so that I can structure, I guess, the conversation accordingly. So, all right, cool. We got some beginner levels. I'm going to share my screen at the same time. Bada bing, bada boom. Oops.
So Alex, we have some beginners, we have some people who use it for work, but also private, but the majority seems to be a beginner.
Cool, perfect. So you guys can see the screen. So I'm Alex. I run the startup program here in APAC. So my focus is actually in Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore right now. Maybe if you can tell from the accent, but I'm actually a Kiwi, and I actually still live in New Zealand in a place called Auckland, which is the largest city. It's pissing down with rain right now, so forgive if there's any rain and thunder that you can hear. So today I'm going to talk about how to build your system in Notion, specifically around projects, tasks, and tracking all of your meetings. But before that, I know some of you are beginners and some of you are using it, some of you haven't used it. So as a refresher, what the heck is Notion? So we started Notion 2016, I want to say, really trying to solve this issue of tool sprawl. And what I mean by tool sprawl is we have so many tools that we use nowadays, like for meetings, for notes, for projects, tasks, what have you. There's so many different tools that you can use. And we actually did some internal research and saw that the number of SaaS applications and tools that companies use and startups use nowadays has only increased year over year. So as the years progress, you're probably going to download and use the next tool that you see. And now with this whole AI era, we're getting a proliferation of even more AI tools. You have so many tools to choose from, and everyone now, it's actually democratized to build your own tools. So we get more. But what we're actually hearing from people and our customers is that you guys don't want more tools. You don't want to spend more money on more tools. You have enough problems. Really, you don't need 5 other tools to spend your time on. And also, context switching is hard between tool to tool. You actually just want to embed AI into your existing workflows to help you do more things faster, to do more things cheaper, etc. You also want a place to manage all your business metrics. You want a place to manage all your projects, product roadmaps, tasks, and what have you. And you want to do this multiplayer. So you want to be able to collaborate with your team members because it's not just you running that company, or maybe it is and you're a solo founder. So what we did is we became the Lego of software, and that's our vision. It's like we take all of these building blocks from all of these vertical SaaS tools, and we just chucked it all in Notion. And so we give you all of these quote unquote Lego blocks to play around with in Notion. So as an example, maybe you're a founder and you have, or a business owner, you have so many meetings. You have partnership meetings, you have internal meetings, you have discovery calls and meetings with clients and customers. Maybe you're a founder raising capital, so you're having a meeting with an investor wanting to invest in your company. You have a bunch of metrics that you need to track, or maybe that you've been asked to create a proposal or create a TAM analysis on your market size so that you can send to an investor. It's a lot of stuff. So we've created this all-encompassing AI workspace that works for you. How does that look like? Well, now we've made Notion smart enough to look through not only Notion itself, but all of its corresponding tools as well. Is my sound breaking, Sarita? Do you need me to talk a little bit closer? I will. All right, I'll just talk a little bit closer to the mic just in case you can't hear me. So
just me, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put my mic a little bit. There we go. Yeah, we've connected Notion to all of your other tools that you know and love. So Gmail, Google Drive, the Microsoft Office suite, Jira, GitHub, for example. It can even read through PDFs, linear if you're doing product management. So you're able to search information through from all of these other tools directly in Notion. For example, maybe you have a Slack thread. I have a Slack thread with Amir. I'm talking with Amir, but I don't really want to go through Slack again just to search for that one conversation. That's very bothersome, and I can't be bothered. So then I just search up, what did I talk about with Amir on last Tuesday? And it should bring up that thread. Something that we also launched this year, and with all of these AI tools, actually, it all came out this year, was AI meeting notes. I'm going to show you a little bit later on how that actually works, but you're now able to record, transcribe, and summarize all of your meeting notes directly from within Notion, regardless of what video communication tool you're using. So whether you're using Zoom, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, which is the thing that we're on right now, you can record and transcribe from across all 3 of them. And the you know that little bot that sometimes invades your meeting, well, it doesn't do that. So it records directly and natively from your Notion. We also created research mode, which is essentially you're able to create detailed research reports based on the data that you have in Notion, information that you have in Notion, but also external stuff from the web as well. Literally just 2 months ago, we launched Notion Agent, and I will show you this. I won't talk about it too much now. I'll just show you what it can do later on with the existing building blocks that we've built in Notion. Cool thing is you can also chat with all of your favorite large language models, whether it's Claude, GPT, or Gemini as well. You can do that directly from Notion, and you don't have to pay for an extra subscription. So what does that actually mean? We've just consolidated a bunch of verticalized SaaS tools into this all-in-one tool. So that what that does is it keeps you focused, it saves you costs is the main one, and you don't really have to move out of this one tool. You can even, we have a calendar product, we have an email product. You're able to like have a Calendly link, but we call it Notion Calendar link, so people can book times in your calendar. So that's what we're trying to do right now. Some of the companies that use us are probably some of the fastest growing companies ever in history. OpenAI, Wiz, Deal, Ramp, Cursor. We actually added Vercel and Figma into that as well, so they all use us too. So let's get into the actual workshop. I'll share my Notion page now. Perfect. So again, a little bit about me. I've been a VC for the past 4 years. So what that means is I used to invest in startups across New Zealand. I worked in a two-man team, and we invested in a bunch of stuff all the way from B2B SaaS, AI, to crazy things like video gaming studios as well. So before we begin, I'm going to actually demo AI meeting notes for us. So we're going to press play here. And now it's going to record what I'm going to be talking about right now. So that's going to be playing in the background and recording in the background whilst I give this workshop. All right, so for those of you that are unfamiliar with Notion and how Notion actually works, again, Notion is just Lego. It's just building blocks. So you can think of it as such, where if you press this one key, which is just / it unlocks a myriad of building blocks. And these are the foundations of how you actually build anything in Notion. And we're going to get to how you use these building blocks to actually build, your project management or your task management system in the future. So you've got different options here, different variables, different building blocks. You have formatting blocks like so, where you can create different headings. Bullet points. This is my favorite feature ever in Notion, is toggles. I love toggles, where you can just hide stuff inside a toggle. You have simple to-do lists, different formatting options like callouts and quotes. But you also can embed stuff as well. You can embed images. You can embed videos. So YouTube links, Loom links. For example, maybe you're giving a product demo, and you're going through your product and you're recording it on Loom. You can then embed that Loom link in Notion and use that as almost like a landing page for people. You can embed code. So a lot of product managers and engineers embed certain pieces of code that they can then collaborate on, and they collaborate on that piece of code in Notion. Files is a big one, whether it's CSVs, Excels, PDFs. You can embed all of that in Notion and have almost like a file repository in Notion. A lot of founders and startups have used Notion as like a one place to put all of their like company information, policies, company and corporation docs, and use it as like a file management system. That's one use case of Notion. Finally, you can also embed bookmarks as well. So maybe you want to launch on Product Hunt, or you're bookmarking, your competitors, you're able to embed that as well. We have simple tables that you can create, kind of like any document or docs app in software. But now we have this thing called databases. And databases is a really big word, and that kind of means a bunch of things, but just think of it as like a very advanced table where it's in a table format, has different properties, has all of this is customizable. But the cool thing is every row is its own page. You can actually open up this and then populate it with content. I'll give you like really clear-cut examples soon around how you can turn these databases into a meetings database where you track all of your meetings that you have in the company, or you can use a database in a completely different way and use it to track all of your projects. But these are just some of the formatting options that you have in Notion. So let's go back. Perfect. So as you can see, it's still recording here. What I do advise a lot of people when they first start off with Notion is that it's a lot, like especially if you're exposed to just a blank canvas. Like Notion in itself this is all content, but you start off with a blank canvas. How the hell do you start? Well, my advice is Notion has pre-made templates. You can find this, go to at the bottom here of the tab where you go to Marketplace. You can literally just go in and search for any type of template you want. Chances are there's going to be a template for it, whether you're planning your holiday, which I'm doing. I'm going to Vietnam at the end of the year, and so I'm planning my holiday and expenses and budget and places to go, all in Notion. Students use it to create like a study plan for their many papers and assignments. So look, there's a bunch of templates that have been pre-made and pre-built by different creators. If we go into this one, we can see that there's a study template for your class schedules and inspiration. You can even embed, your lo-fi hip hop beats Spotify playlist into Notion, as many people do. So if we go back, there are a bunch of pre-made templates, and I would suggest that you explore the pre-made templates first, and then everything's editable, and you can chop and change anything within those templates once you download them as well. All right, now let's create a project management system. So in here, these things are pages. So the way I created that is I just did /page. And it created a new page. I'm going to use an example. This is Sharon's page. I format it, there, done. And then now it lives as another page that I can just move around anywhere and reformat. I can move it here. It's all customizable. So in here, I created an example page of a project and task system. We're going to do this the manual way first. And then I'm going to show you how Notion Agent can just do it for you and create it for you. So let's say I want to create a way to track my projects. I have a bunch of projects on for my company. Maybe I am a company that sells farm animal toys. I don't know why that came to my mind, but it's the first thing that came to my mind. So I want to create a project database for that. So I'm going to go /database, and there's different options. Let's just do an inline one. It already gives you some suggested templates already that are just pre-built. So maybe let's go projects. Okay. I have different properties that I can add to this. Maybe I want to add progress. Maybe I want to add budget. And it has different views as well. So it has a Kanban board view where you can drag projects across. This is maybe all of the projects that you have and just like a list or table view. The cool thing is you have like Gantt chart or timeline views as well. So you can view the data in different ways that suit you. All right, so maybe we like that. All right, we've created a project database. But again, this is a template. This is something that Notion has built as an example for you to get started, but maybe it's nowhere perfect and you want to customize it. So right now you can just go in, you can edit all this to be like StartSpace webinar. That's my project, but it's not very suited to what I want. So I'm just going to delete that. And it's not also connected to my tasks, because you probably have high level projects that you're trying to get done, but under that, there's probably a bunch of subtasks that you need to do in order to finish this entire project. And also, if you have a team, you need to allocate, those tasks to said team members as well. So I've created a prompt here, and this is going to showcase Notion Agent and Notion AI, where I've created a prompt that says, create me a database, or actually create 2 databases. one for projects, one for tasks, and actually connect them as well via two-way sync. Well, I'll actually go down to the corner and ask this little guy. This is Notion AI, but I've actually called mine the bro. You can personalize your Notion agent to however you see fit. So I've called mine the bro because everyone in New Zealand calls each other bro. You can also change the aesthetics as well. Maybe I want a duck hat today. When it was Halloween, we actually had like a pumpkin head, but I think they got rid of that. And I can edit the instructions to how I want this agent, or you can refer to them as like an assistant. You can change the instructions to how you want this assistant to interact with you. So here I wrote, refer to me as my bro and your name is the bro. And then always start the chat with, hey bro. But you can do whatever you see fit. So this then becomes almost like your central hub of ops and also, creating things. So think of this as like an assistant little chatbot. You click here. I'm going to copy this and then paste it. Oops. Paste it in here. And now, as you can see, Notion is also connected to the web right now. I'm also able to connect all of my other tools here if you so choose. For example, if you wanted Notion to pull information from your Slack, you could. But we also use different models right here as well. But for simplicity's sake, I've created this prompt. I want Notion to do the work for me, create this projects and task management database for me. So I click enter, and then you can watch your personal assistant or Notion agent be able to build this for you. And in any case, you can craft this prompt to suit your business. So if I wanted to be more specific and be like, I'm selling farm animal toys, I can specify that. I can be like, create a database for farm animal toys or whatever it is. So here you can see, hey bro, I created both databases. I set up a two-way relation. So let's have a look. Let's go into projects. You can see it's created the different properties for you. It's created who is assigned to said project, and also it's connected it to the task database. However, it looks pretty bare and empty. So what we can do is we can ask it to populate it with sample data as well, or real world data from the internet. But as an example, I'm going to get it to populate it with sample data. So I've just made a simple prompt, populate it with sample data. So let's see what it does. Decided to add some of these. We can go and actually see what it's been doing. There we go. So it's populating the projects with sample data. So web redesign, the status of it, priority, due dates, assigning people to it as well, and then the respective tasks that are associated with that said project. And if we go out, we can see that these tasks have also been created, but for your example, you're able to put in your own tasks. So that's an example of how you can create a simple project and task management system that's also connected to each other with pretty much two prompts. Now, I'm going to stop there because that was a bunch of information. And then we're going to go through, like, if you have any questions in the chat, and Sharon, if there's any questions, feel free to ask them, and I can kind of answer them as I go before I move on to the next section, which is building a meetings database to track all of your meetings and extract some stuff from that too.
Amazing. So yeah, there are some questions already. So for example, Luke was asking if you could also connect Outlook to Notion, or is it just working with Gmail?
It's coming soon, very soon, Luke. Outlook is coming. Outlook is coming very soon. We're currently, you know, integrated with Teams already and SharePoint, so it is really coming as well. Yes, project manager, Chaminda, you can invite people to view your projects who don't have the subscription to Notion. You can make each page public as well, and I can show you how to do that. Regarding Martin's concern about data security, yes, we are SOC 2 and ISO 2700 approved already, or GDPR approved for data. So we take your data very seriously, and all the data is locked under, you know, permissions hierarchy as well.
And Chaminda also asked how well does it identify different speakers? So that was referring to the agent.
Yeah. Yeah, so speakers is in when in meeting notes. Is that what you mean, Chaminda? Okay, yeah. So, for example, if you connect Notion Mail or Notion's calendar to your Notion meeting notes, or even just your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar to AI meeting notes, it will see who's the attendees of the meeting and then make an assumption of who's talking. It can't fully know because it's not connected to, you know, it's just recording the voice. But if it's connected to the calendar, it'll be like, oh, if there's two people, Amir and Alex, it will I guess put a tag on who's talking and who's not talking. All right. Jaminda, I'll just give you an example, a quick example of the sharing pages publicly, so people can kind of go in and have a look at certain projects and maybe the stage of the project. So let's go back. So as an example, maybe this page, maybe you want to share this project. Maybe you want to share this specific project of website redesign. You can actually share it with that person's email, and they can have view-only access, they can have edit access, comment access, etc. But you can also publish this to the web as well, and make it, you know, viewed publicly if you so choose. But usually I would just give them, you know, view access, and they're able to just go in and see that page and view it. All right, so let's go back to meetings. Meetings is the bane of my existence, everyone. It is, I do too many meetings. And so sometimes I'm in meetings like back to back, and I don't really have time to write notes down. And we have these tools. We have Otter, we have Fireflies. There's a myriad of tools that record meeting notes now. But what we've done is, in the place that you already do your work and manage your tasks and projects, why can't you also have it as the place to hold all of your meeting notes as well? Especially if those meeting notes turn into tasks. For example, you have a meeting, you have action items from that meeting, and you need to populate them into your task management system as well. So again, I've created an example prompt, create a database on this page for meetings, include the following properties, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to copy and paste that into this. Let's get rid of that. And then at the end, I will ask it to give me some sample data as well. All right, let's see it create the meetings database. And then from there, I'll talk about how you actually record calls and how each call is a new row in this database. And you're able to also query the entire database. So it's created this meetings database. We can go in and see what it's actually doing. Oops. What did it do? Still building the right stuff. Cool. It's adding the example data now. All right, cool. It's it. Hey, bro, it's spun up a meetings database. Let's go in and let's have a look. So it's got different meeting types as well. But again, all of this is customizable. And you don't have to necessarily go in and change each individual one. remember that Notion agent has access to all of these building blocks that you have. So it can edit the database for you. And that's the whole point, is you are business owners, or you're busy people, and you don't want to spend time doing all of the admin stuff, all the low value work. You want to be doing stuff that brings high value to your business, like building the product, selling the product. And all of this stuff can be done autonomously, just through a single prompt sometimes. So as an example, these are the many calls that I've had in the past. It's got a calendar view of when I've had these calls, and I can go into each one of them and have a look. It's got upcoming calls, it's got past calls, it's got calls by type as well. So maybe one-on-ones by team, all hands, client calls, team syncs, you name it. It's got attendees. It's even got a link out to an action items database, or the task database that we just talked about. So it's cool because after you have the meeting, then you can also attribute tasks to that said meeting as well. But as an example, maybe I am starting a call with Sharon. So it can be like Sharon call. I can go in, and then when I'm about to start the meeting, I just go AI meeting notes. But also this, if you have Notion installed already, this will just, when you join the call, a pop-up will come up being like, do you want to record this using AI meeting notes? And you can just click yes. But this is the more manual way, where I'm about to start a call. I just press the start button, and then it will record in the background. Obviously, because it's not recording on the video communication tool, you need to give people notice that you're recording a call, or at least ask for permission. So that's you legally need to do so. So as an example, we populated a bunch of information here. Maybe you could have hundreds of calls. Like my meetings database is like hundreds of rows long. I maybe want to find some action items out of this database. I don't want to have to go through those 100 rows and find the information that I need. The other thing that I can do is also extract certain insights as well. So if I had discovery calls with like 5 different prospective customers, and they were saying stuff about, what their problem is, or what they would like in a product that you're building, you can actually ask this entire database. You can be like, meetings database, you can ask it a question. Let's just create a new chat. Maybe we can ask how many calls, well, we know the answer, which is how many calls I've had in this database that were client calls. We know the answer, it's 2, but it's able to actually give you that answer. So I've just asked Notion agent a simple question: how many calls in this database are client calls? And then it will scour through, and then it will give you the answer at the end. There are 2 meetings, and then it will send you the links to those specific things as well, which is super cool. As an example, you can do this for any types of insights that you're trying to get. So maybe I'm having a bunch of partnership calls, and I'm like, well, what are all the partnerships saying? Or what do all of the partners value when I'm having all of these calls? Do they value the leads that Notion generates for them? Are there any key themes that they want to talk about? And agent will be able to extract all that and then give you the answer from all of your existing meetings. So this is a simple way of creating a meetings database where all of the meeting notes are here, all in one place, and you can also ask questions of that said database as well. I'm gonna stop here again, and then just answer some questions.
Yeah, so Alex, Zoe asked if we have time, could you please demo the integration with Teams, for example?
Oh, I can't, because we don't use Teams, so I don't even have a Teams account. So but as an example, you can the way that you would do it, Zoe, is you would go through to, oops, Notion AI. You can go to connected apps, and then you would press that. I don't have access to it, obviously, but you would just go through the sign up, your own sign up of Microsoft Teams or your own sign up of your Slack account. And so you would connect the two accounts together. You would do that first before it gets access to the information and vice versa, right? Same thing with Gmail, same thing with Slack and whatnot. All right, so I know that there's some questions about filter the database by project. Yes, you can. It's all customizable, Jaminda. So whether it's, let's go back to the projects database. Filter by project. You mean like project name? Or maybe we can add something like a category of the project. So this one's more like marketing. I'll ask it to add one. So as an example, I've just asked it to add some categories, but also add 5 more rows as well, because we only have 3 rows. Let's have a look. It's updating as we go. Let's see this be updated live. But to answer your question, you're able to create a new view where you can just filter by rows, but everything's filterable. So you're able to add filters by status, filters by category, for example. Oh, there we go. Just popped some extra sample data. Did it finish? Yes, it did. Cool. So you can see it added some categories. Maybe you want to filter, or you can even group. So maybe I want to group by category. Well, now you can, and then you can close different, and maybe you can focus on operations. You can filter by project that way, where it's like you've categorized it by a theme of the project. Maybe the projects are all fundraising related, maybe the projects are all marketing related. What I've seen is some of these categories. Let's see if I undo the grouping. All right. Some of these projects are more team related than anything else. So instead of a category, it's more team. So it's like, it's the growth team, it's the product team that has ownership of that. So then you can group by team, but in this case it's category, but yeah. So you can see, okay, this is the project that the operations team is working on. Here's the associated tasks, here's the people that own said project. And if we want to go in, we can go into like the specific task itself that needs to get done and who's the owner of said task. And all of that was done with a single prompt. I would suggest that you just explore with different types of prompts. And prompts is just a really just simple word for just ask it to do what you want it to do. And then see if it does it. And then everything can be undone as well. There's like undo buttons, I can see right here. You can also insert. So if you wanted it to create like a page of content here, you can add certain pages, you can copy responses. It's flexible for a reason, Shaminda, is that everything needs to suit your purpose, and everyone's kind of business and needs are different. So just experiment. I'll stop there again.
Amazing. And Chaminda also asked if there are different rights. So when you have a team set up, can you assign different rights, such as just viewing rights to specific team members as well?
Yes, correct. And it's important to note that some meetings, maybe you're the founder of a business and you don't want like your employees to know that you're having a meeting with, I don't know, the liquidator or whatever it is. I'm not saying that will happen, but some meetings and some stuff you want to keep separate, right? You want to keep private. And some stuff at a team level, you want it to be more like everyone can see it. So it's a good point, and everyone does have access to almost to the point where you have database level permissions. So say if I'm creating a table, if I don't want someone to see all of this, I can actually share just like one of these rows with someone, and I can make this database not accessible to certain people. I can add rules, so like page level access. So for example, I can even assign like, oh, I only want Sharon to see this row. I don't want Sharon to see any other rows. So you can have granular permissions within said database so that when you're sharing it with people, they can only see the things that you want them to see. Same thing with meeting notes as well. So you have a team space here, but you also have private pages. You can just whip up a new private page and then that's yours. No one else can see this private page. But as soon as you share it with someone's email, it becomes a shared page. So that's a good way of delineating between what pages and content and docs are for the entire company, and then which ones are specifically for you as well.
Fantastic. Is there any other question from someone in the audience? Please unmute yourself and ask the question. That's your chance to address it directly to Alex.
We can also build something live as well. If you guys have any like specific use cases, or like, Alex, can you build this for me as an example? Sure, we'll give it a go. Someone's even asked if I could build a snowman using Notion, and I asked Notion Agent, and it created. I'll just show you when someone's asking a question. So ask a question whenever, and I'll ask it to build a snowman.
So we got two more questions. One is, does Notion have mind mapping capabilities?
Good question. Mind mapping, I don't think yet. What it does have is dependencies. Like for example, if you have a project timeline and you can create dependencies. So like this project can only be done, can only move forward if this project or task is done. Mind maps, I'm not too sure yet, but we can ask it. So I asked it to build a snowman, it built a snowman. Let's ask it if it has mind maps as well. That's the other cool thing about Notion is you can ask it if it has the capability of doing something that you want it to do.
Cool. And also another question from Ben: what type of investment is required to set up, I guess, to use this kind of functionality we're seeing here?
Yeah, so for all of you guys, we have a partnership going with StartSpace where, and Sharon will send the link or the QR code after this call or during this call, where you get 6 months of Notion's business plan for free. So the paid version, but 6 months for free. All of this functionality and some of these like baseline Notion AI, but all of these building blocks is actually free. Like you can start with Notion on the free plan. If you're a single user, you have unlimited blocks. Okay, so short answer to answer the other person's question is not yet, not natively, but you can embed certain things. Like we have a Miro integration. If you just do /Miro, you can see that you're able to embed Miros. You're able to embed Figmas as well in that. So that's how people get around, is by embedding stuff in their Notion, but not natively, of course.
And Luke also shared with us that he used Lucid Spark, where you can create mind maps, and he linked that to Notion. So similar.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, so it's free to use for everyone. You can just start on the free plan. But for example, if you wanted the more premium integrations, so like connections, you wanted certain level connectors, if you want to use Notion's MCP, where you can connect with like Claude, Cursor, and OpenAI, some of that stuff is more on the premium plan. But you guys get the premium plan for 6 months for free anyway. So maybe what I suggest actually is start on the free plan, see if you can build what you need to build. on the free plan first, and then if you need more functionality, then you can always get the 6 months of Notion Business for free, and then you can test that way. But I always implore you to just start free first, and then if you need more, then you can sign up using that link that Sharon will kindly share.
And also, I see more questions popping up. We only have time for one more, but we will answer all your questions. And by the way, we also created in our Slack channel, a dedicated channel for Notion, where we will just pop in all your questions that you've asked and then also provide the answer to that as well. And Alex, maybe we can tap your shoulder in case we can't answer anything, that you can provide the answers to potential future questions as well. But
yeah, of course.
Amazing, thanks. One last question for today is coming from Zoe, and she said, it's a little bit related to one of the questions we asked, but can you create a group? And she says, let's say members, that you can then create pages and resources that they have access to. So similar that you said before, you can invite your team to existing pages and data sets, but can you create a group first and then associate them to the databases?
Yes. Short answer, yes, Zoe. So you could even create like, maybe I want to create a theme space or a shared space for a specific group. So maybe the group is products. And then you can create different databases that you only share with said product team, if that's what you mean. And then only the product team have access, and maybe you can even create like a wiki, like you can turn this page into a wiki as well. And that becomes, your team's homepage. And then you can go into your team's homepage, you can go through, in Notion itself, we have that where the marketing team has a wiki and a homepage, and we go into that, and all the information about the marketing team is in that. But if, say, the product team wants to know what the marketing team's up to, they can also go in if they do have the necessary permissions. So hopefully that answers your question. I know there was a bit of a long one here from Martin, which I can touch on directly with you, Martin, around the privacy and data, because yeah, it's a lot to talk about. So and I know we're coming on time.
Yes, amazing. Just conscious of time here. And what I would like to do is I would show everyone who's in the call this slide, because Alex mentioned it before. We have this amazing partnership with Notion that gets all our members and alumni 6 months on the business plan with Notion AI included for free. So please, in order to redeem this offer, scan this QR code. It will also be part of an email that we send to you. This session has also been recorded, so you can always rewatch this session. And again, just a shout out to this Slack channel we created, where we just literally talk everything Notion, and that's specifically for you to share your learnings, ask questions. So yes, we are definitely here to help, and we will connect you with Alex as well. So Amir, you quickly want to do a little shout out as well.
Yes, Alex, thank you very much. That was really, really helpful, and I'm also looking forward to us in StartSpace looking at how we can kind of optimize our processes and systems. I just quickly wanted to let everyone know that your feedback is really important. So I'm sending a few links now. Please share your feedback. So the top link is a feedback form to this session. Let us know what you think, what worked well, what could be improved. That would be great. Also, upcoming Lunch and Learn is happening next Thursday, November 20th. And the title of the session is Ecosystem Mapping and Self-Direction. And that's a panel discussion with established founders to help you understand the ecosystem, what's out there, but also navigate yourself, cut through the noise, and understand what works for you. Also, and lastly, I'm super happy to announce that our next members breakfast will be featuring Antler. So Layla, the scouting manager from Antler, is coming in to do an info session on how to secure VC funding in 2026, specifically focusing on lessons learned from recent Antler cohorts. So please use the links in the chat to register for the event, and I'll see you there.
Thank you, Amir. So that's it from us for today. And again, big thank you to you, Alex, for your time and sharing your expertise here in this online workshop, and to everyone from the StartSpace community for joining us today. So thank you all, and it was a pleasure having you. Bye.
Everyone, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me. Cheers, everyone.